Hey everyone, it's Aaliyah here. So this is an impromptu video, but definitely felt appropriate and needed for me personally to say my own piece. With everything that's been going on, it's taken me a while to process it. I'm still processing it as well, but I guess I feel like I've just reached a point of numbness in a way, just because we've seen this happen so many times, and honestly I don't really know how much I can bear of it anymore. Be in a world where, and to live in a country even where you're deemed as less than just based on the way you look, and every day you leave your house, you have higher percentages of not coming back home alive just on the basis that you're black, or perceived as black. Now more than ever, I feel like people really need to wake up and understand what's happening, what's going on, why we're outraged, and for all the people that are supposedly allies, white and other non-black people of color, who choose to remain silent. It does speak volumes as to how now in our most dire time of need, people don't feel the need to say anything or cop out with, I'm not sure what to do, or what can I say that hasn't been said already. And that to me is not enough. It's not an excuse. There has to be more effort in terms of trying to figure out what you can do. You can't just sit around and wait for people to tell you what to do. Read the room, read what's going on. It's all over social media. There's no way you can avoid it. Therefore, you should engage. You have to engage. And how do you think we feel as black people, where this is our lives? We can't run away from it. We can't get away from it. So it's a reality and it's never going away. So now more than ever, I feel like is the time where people really need to do something, say something. If notice that you have privileges if you aren't black, and figure out how you can leverage them and use them. I just briefly wanted to make a short video, go over some resources I've used and read throughout my college career that has significantly helped to strengthen my perspective as a black citizen, as a black American in this time of turmoil. I just wanted to share just to help provide more context as to why people are so angry, why people are acting out in these ways that for a lot of people, may not think make sense. I've seen several comments all over social media. Why are you acting like criminals, kind of feeding into the stereotype, Well, when you've done peaceful protesting for so long and it hasn't worked, how would you feel? How would you react? You would be angry too. It's a natural reaction to what hasn't happened for so long. So I'm not trying to make this video long in any ways, but just a couple of the things I think are necessary in order to read, to really understand what it feels like and what it's like to be a black American. First off, starting with a classic, of course, The Souls of Black Folks by W.E.B. DuBois. He really spends a lot of time talking about this whole idea of the Negro problem. And when I mean the Negro problem, talks a lot about double consciousness, basically how we as black Americans have to view ourselves versus how the world sees us, and how you have to constantly walk around with this burden on your back. In addition to his book, The Souls of Black Folks, also he has an article called I Won't Vote in 1956. This isn't me endorsing people not to vote. However, I think it is really important to see his perspective as to why he decided not to vote in that year, based on prior experiences and all the events that led up to that year, and in a way are very relevant now as I speak. In addition to that, I think Black Visions by Michael Dawson is also a really good book to read, as it is kind of like the overall basis and core of understanding black political thought. Also, I really think Mapping the Margins by Kimberlé Crenshaw is also very highly important, especially when talking about the experiences of black women in this country. She coined the term intersectionality, where mostly relates to the crossing of race, class, and gender, and how that creates a unique experience for black women, mostly poor black women in this country. So I definitely think that is a must read. There's a lot of other things on this list, but I'd be here forever, so I'm just going to list them down in the description box below. I highly encourage you to take a look at these sources. What they all have in common is that they provide a voice to the black experience in this country. The first step in order to understanding what's going on and the conversations and why people are acting the way that they're acting in this very, very grave time, is to start out by educating yourself. You can't just wait around for people to tell you what to do, how to feel, or anything like that. People are outraged. People are angry because their lives are at stake. And as for allies and for other people of color who are not black, use your voice, your privilege, whatever you have, to aid in this whole conversation, this whole issue that's been happening for so long. Like, we've just had enough. Again, this was very impromptu, but I hope you enjoyed it and can kind of take away something for this. And I really do hope that you share and walk away with something. I'll try to do more stuff in related to this, but just because of the circumstances, I felt like it was necessary for me to say something. I wanted to say something. So thank you so much for tuning in.